Hey everyone, today I want to talk about IHE. IHE stands for Integrating the Healthcare Enterprise. It's an idea, it's a concept. If you have ever heard a slogan like Buy Local or Buy American, in healthcare we say Buy IHE compliant systems. Okay, so to understand how we got IHE, we need to time travel. So I want to go back to the 1990s. This is a time when computers are replacing paper charts in hospitals. Hospital service-specific software such as radiology information systems and lab information systems are replacing manual tracking processes. PACS are replacing film. All of these systems are being developed, but they don't talk to each other. They are all single entities. Typically, in that time, a doctor would carry around a small book with his login and password information for all these different systems. To care for a patient, the doctor would go into each system to place orders and review results. So there needed to be a better way. Also at this time, there are two major annual conventions in the country. One is RSNA. It happens the last week in November in Chicago, and it's the Super Bowl of radiology. Every radiology vendor in the world shows off their new products there. It still goes on every year, but in the 1990s the show was dominated by RIFs and PACS systems. The other big conference at the time is HIMSS. It's held in February in Orlando, still goes on to this day, and it attracts all the big healthcare IT companies. So whereas RSNA is radiology specific, this is kind of the conference for everybody else. For example, Epic would go to HIMSS to show off their products. So IHE began in 1998 with the mutual realization by HIMSS and RSNA that through cooperative efforts they could promote a higher level of interoperability among imaging and information systems. Both organizations were aware that public events like their conferences could help drive the integration process by encouraging the participation of vendors and raising the awareness of users and purchasers. They convened a working group of their key members, industry representatives, standards experts, and others. This group outlined an approach that led, a year later, to the formation of the IHE planning and technical committees. These committees have worked continuously and intensively since that time. What is IHE? IHE is an initiative by healthcare professionals and industry to improve the way computer systems and healthcare share information. IHE promotes the coordinated use of established standards such as DICOM and HL7 to address specific clinical needs in support of optimal patient care. Systems developed in accordance with IHE communicate with one another better, are easier to implement, and enable care providers to use information more effectively. Physicians, medical specialists, nurses, administrators, and other care providers envision a day when vital information can be passed seamlessly from system to system within and across departments and made readily available at the point of care. IHE is designed to make their vision a reality by improving the state of systems integration and removing barriers to optimal patient care. Optimal patient care requires sufficient access to all relevant information. Despite the advanced state of technology, however, healthcare enterprises have not yet begun to realize the full potential of computer systems to reduce medical errors, improve the efficiency of care providers, and enhance the overall quality of clinical care. To do so requires a framework for information sharing that meets the needs of care providers as well as patients, and gains acceptance among the companies that build the systems they rely on. Standards provide the basis for such a framework, but alone do not solve the problem. In any standard there are gaps, options, room for conflicting interpretations. No standard maps perfectly to the complex and ever-changing information domain of a healthcare enterprise. Filling the gap between standards and systems integration has, until now, required expensive, site-specific interface development. To close that gap, a process for building a detailed framework for the implementation of standards is needed. IHE provides that process. Interfacing systems is one of the key challenges faced by any RIS/PACS admin. Understanding the differing implementations of standards in various vendor systems and trying to find ways to reconcile them is an expensive, labor-intensive, and often painful process. IHE offers a common framework for vendors, IT departments, clinical users, and consultants to understand and address clinical integration needs. The IHE technical framework allows flexibility while ensuring that key integration needs are met. IHE has been testing the interoperability of health information technology systems for more than a decade. At work sessions they call IHE Connect-a-thons. Those are held regularly in several locations internationally. Trained technical experts supervise testing of vendor systems, making use of advanced testing software that they developed on their own and in conjunction with several partner organizations. More than 250 vendors worldwide have implemented and test products with IHE capabilities. IHE is expanded to include healthcare business sectors such as ophthalmology, cardiology, quality research, and public health. That's one domain, quality research and public health, and also radiation therapy. I like that SIM, the Society for Imaging Informatics and Medicine, is part of IHE. IHE is also all over the world. It's in Britain, it's in France, Italy, Japan, Germany. Notice how it's all mostly radiology societies involved. IHE started as a radiology thing, and outside of the United States it still remains focused on radiology applications. IHE promotes integration within and across all units of the healthcare enterprise. The initial success of IHE were achieved in radiology, and IHE Radiology remains very active. The IHE process has since been adopted in other domains as well. Working in coordination with others, each of these domains will develop its own technical framework and integration profiles, and implement its own part of the testing and demonstration process. Domains frequently work together on profiles of common interest. Several IHE domains address interoperability issues of interest to multiple clinical fields. Listed here are the current active IHE domains. Information technology professionals should know how to use IHE integration profiles in RFPs and purchasing agreements, and should familiarize themselves with sections of the technical framework that describe interfaces between systems under their supervision. We will dive into the IHE technical framework document next week. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in class.